hallelujah, give him, hallelujah, give him the highest praise, hallelujah, give him the highest praise, hallelujah, give him the highest praise.
Come let's pray, Jehovah. Come let's worship Jehovah. It deserves the praise. Come let's praise Him. It deserves everything. Oh, the worshiping. Oh, He gave me life. I will praise His name. I'm here to praise my God, oh, because He gave me life. Come celebrate, come jubilate, come to worship Him. He deserves the praise. Hallelujah, give Him the higher praise. Hallelujah, give Him the higher praise.
Hallelujah, give Him the higher praise. Hallelujah, give Him the highest praise. Hallelujah, give Him the highest praise. Hallelujah, give Him the highest praise. Ooh, hallelujah.
All right. Good evening, folks. Welcome. We sincerely apologize. I don't know where this one it came from this evening. Audio disappeared. But guess what? I've discovered I found it. We want to welcome our viewers and listeners across the globe. Thank you so much. It's just right after independence as the Republic of Liberia. We want to welcome all of you here this evening. This is, of course, All Things Considered. Very shortly, we're going to get this program on the way. Hit the share button for us as possibly as you can, so that we're going to have a conversation here. Welcome. I'm Alfonso Zienso.
Hallelujah, hallelujah to Jesus.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome, I'm Alfonso Zienso of the Liberia Public Radio and Lpr-Tv. We want to welcome our viewers and listeners across the globe. Thank you for joining us here this evening. Regardless, wherever you are, we say good evening. Of course, you're going to be part of the talking point. Well, I'm not sure how you're going to end up today. I just found out what happens to my audio. I just discovered that. It was done on purpose. All along, we've been having a very great time, but out of a sudden, he's appearing today. Where is he from? We are hearing there's a party switch. What happens? Is he forming his own political party? All going to be discussed right here this evening. The fallout of the 175th independence anniversary of the Republic of Liberia. Is it extensions at the Unity Party Conference, conventions in Bon County? What is going on? Well, politicians are behaving the way they are behaving. Are the young folks in the country being politically present to muddy the water? These and many more, you and I and us, we're going to be part of the talking point here this evening. Right here, it's on the Diaspora Informative News Outlet. Liberia Public Radio, keeping news proportional, fair, balanced, and objective. The far right will not be with us here this evening. The return of this guy, eventually I will be forced and compelled to call his name, has created a dramatic situation right here on this network. All of a sudden, the far right guy, he's ill, he's not going to be here. He came, my audio disappeared. Is he trying to test the water? What he's trying to prove? I was not responsible. He making of his political decisions at the time. I'm not sure whether he was wrong, but I'm quite sure he's going to be in defense of himself. There are so many names tied to him. Some call him progressive, some call him a laborer, some call him Dr. Bweka, Councilor Gonglo, or whatever it is. He left without no time, without requesting. No, to be fair, he requested for time off. The time expired. He didn't renew his sick time or whatever. But we were hearing that he was involved in multitudes of stuff. Only to hear there is a party switch. Right now, well, so we're going to be breaking here very shortly. But in continuations of breaking news information, Liberia Public Radio also partnered with different outlets to bring news, information, and entertainment, making it balanced, fair, and objective. We're going to be bringing you an editorial of the African Star News outlet right here in the USA, reflecting their views and opinions on major news happenings in Liberia, right here, right there, all over the place. I am Alfonso Zian, so the program is about to get underway. Stay tuned. We're going to be bringing you the editorial, and I will be introducing him. I am forced, I am compelled. He's threatening my job. This is how African behaves when they are in authority. And I'm going to expose that here this evening. Let's get the ball rolling.
As the West African Republic of Liberia celebrates its independence anniversary on Tuesday, July 26, 2022, African Star takes stock of the challenge of governance and the suffering of citizens whose democratic exercise of freely and fairly electing the incumbent George M. Weah administration in 2017 has amounted to one of the worst experiences. At 175, Liberia and its over 5 million inhabitants are overwhelmed by the tone deaf and incompetence of an administration that is wholly unprepared to govern. While African Star is quite highly critical of the incumbent government of President Weah, which has been correctly characterized as kleptocratic by a member of the U.S. Congress, responsibility for the current dysfunctional state of affairs must also be borne by citizens who every election year choose winning and celebrity candidates over the best and qualified individuals with the expectation that all issues of governance will be magically resolved. How did Liberians get this George M. Weah administration so wrong? It is not for lack of admonition from critical thinkers and the international community, which urged the supremacy of democratic rule, but with the veiled caveat that Liberians elect credible leaders who can propel the country through meaningful progress. The consequences of poor governance, as experienced by the Liberian populace, will have a devastating long-term impact on Liberia's institutions and psyche, just as in the back-to-back wars of the 1990s. Elections have consequences, as evident from the woeful status quo in Liberia, and never again should Liberians take for granted the work needed to usher and sustain the institutions and practice of democracy. African Star recalls how the celebration of the country's past independence anniversaries were gleeful and holistic, with nearly every community and town fully involved. Salaries of civil servants were paid, and ordinary Liberians had a celebratory meal for their families. That was then. At 175, most Liberians, including public sector employees and even marketers, are finding it exceedingly difficult and challenging to join in the observance of the day because government employees are going for months without payment of salaries. Corruption has become standard practice, and the public thief is celebrated in some regions of governance. Indeed, those who decried misrule nearly 5 years ago are in control of the government. Dishonesty and lack of transparency are rampant. Unfortunately, the sad trend of events continues to capture every imagination. This has to change. Liberians cannot allow the incompetence and indifference toward the welfare of the majority of the Liberian people to be the new normal. Liberians have an opportunity in 2023 to self-correct governance. African Star reminds citizens that each one needs hard work to seize the opportunity to each be ambassadors of change in their personal, professional, and social lives. Equally, on this Independence Day anniversary, African Star wishes to salute the Liberian people for maintaining peace and tranquility in the face of these severe challenges and human sufferings. We believe that it is only in a peaceful atmosphere that Liberians can achieve the real democratic change that the country deserves. Indeed, democratic change is possible, a change that serves the interests and benefits of all Liberians instead of a ruling clique like yesteryears. Liberians will have an opportunity to determine either to stay the course or usher in a suitable governance mechanism that will thrust the West African nation into prosperity for all. African Star stands ready to collaborate with setting the agenda of changing the trajectory of Liberia by being faithful to its calling as a watchman of society. Desperate times as we have in Liberia today can and will crystallize and bring forth the dogged determination among Liberians to take charge of their destiny. We are convinced that collectively this is achievable. Overall, independence must be meaningful for all Liberians. May God bless its people and the Republic of Liberia on this independence anniversary.
Good evening. There's the editorial desk of the African Star newspaper. I am Afonso Ziensot of the Liberia Public Radio and Lpr-Tv. Let's get the programs rolling right here. A lot is unfolding right beyond our own feet and inside Liberia. Bangabon County Unity Party is holding her national convention. Our man Mike Dan is in the nation capital of Monrovia monitoring. But like I told you, he's back. I have no idea what he's going to be uttering, what he's going to be speaking out here tonight. But we are hearing that there's a big switch in his political career. The liberal progressive of the Liberia Public Radio, the liberal, and I'm saying some of his fans now getting at me. That's what he does. He plan people and bring them here. Sisse is not here. Amos George is not here. He came and my audio disappeared. He's staying in Toll Town. But we are happy. There's a saying that says there's no bad bush for a child. The liberal progressive of the Liberia Public Radio, at this point in time, his political identity is unknown. Let me go to Saxton, Sacramento, where the liberal is standing by. he's joining this conversation tonight. I can't guarantee how this program is going to come to a grand finale, but I can assure you, though, we will have a good conversation. That's what we do, and that's what we represent. And our own man, Mike Dunn, is near the capital of Monrovia, monitoring development in the nations and its surrounding. Let me go to Saxton and bring in the liberal. See him. Oh, my goodness. Let's go inside Monrovia and bring in Mr. Mike Dunn as well. Mike Dunn is joining us from the capital of Monrovia, the Republic of Liberia. The Liberal Progressive, he changed his title. I see the Liberal SAMSON tour. Everything he tries to do it his own way. The Liberal, good evening and welcome.
Thank you, Mr. So, and Mike, good evening to you as well. And to the audience, I want to say thank you guys. And I really appreciate the comments, the concern that will be expressed by my brothers and sisters all over the world about the Liberal not being a regular on this show for some time. And I just want to be brief on this. About a little bit over a month or so ago, my brother slash cousin passed away in total, and he was not just an ordinary brother to many of us. He's older than me. He, in fact, when I was born, he took note, and when I went back here 2 years or so ago, he showed me his handwriting that he took note and marking down the birth date of me and many other people. But the interesting thing about him was that he has an opportunity. He was 6th, 7th grade student, and those days, those people can read and write. But he refused to leave. He stayed with my uncles, my fathers, and everybody else in the town until all passed away and left him. So he is was very much involved with the family. He knows everything about the family and what the family issued, ownership, whatever it is, he knew about it. And so we really appreciate it. Now he's no longer there. So that's one reason. Another reason was that my instrument or the apparatus that I was using here to be connected publicly was still working. But as you notice, those of you that follow me, from time to time, it would go off and come back on. And that was very annoying. And so I told Lpr family the fact that I was on leave, bereavement, and no pay whatsoever, but bereavement leave. And I thought I used that opportunity to upgrade my system. And I think I'm back. Yeah. I'm back immediately after 1 or 2 shows with Mr. So. Conversation with SAMSON is going to come on, and it's going to be hot, very, very hot. We will be respectful to the current leadership of the Republic of Liberia. We will be respectful to any other person that we're going to be talking about. However, we will be truthful, and there's nothing we're not going to be able to talk about, but we will do it with respect and responsibility. Now, Mr. So, good evening to you. I was not here, and you bring somebody from Minnesota, that Minnesota politician. You brought him here on LPR. Then you and the central right on here all night, every night. Your turbo say this and that with your idea, which is so foreign to the Republic of Liberia, and you want to spew those kind of idea for us. I'm Mike. And I'm going to be the counterweight. I don't know the gentleman that you brought from Minnesota, the Minnesota politician, but I'm waiting to hear from him. He have to come here and let's have a conversation. This is not Minnesota. This is not Minneapolis. This is not St. Paul. This is Liberia, Republic of. You can't come to Republic of Liberia issue and come bring Minnesota politics and you say you're helping us. I'm waiting. I think he's somebody big shot over there in Minnesota. Big shot in Minnesota, but you're not big shot in Liberia. So keep your Minnesota politics and policy over there in Minnesota. I'm waiting for you. This far central right, he's not feeling well, so I'm not going to be too hard on him this afternoon. I saw here our old buddy, Mr. George Weeder. I saw him posting. He posted here a few times. I'm waiting for him as well if he's going to come back. And I'm also, Nairobi is supposed to be joining us here very shortly, I hope. And I'm waiting for them. So I am on and I'm back. Look, my hey fame you ma, you hey fame my ma. I'm cool. You can do nothing to me. Nothing. Take it away.
I just wanted to confirm this. Somebody is saying, welcome back to CDC. Have you gone back to, are you a citizen now? Or reactions?
Mike, can you
No.
get a microphone? Can you get a headphone? I think your line is breaking. Can you get a headphone?
Okay.
Yeah, you always need to get that. But let's try
No,
and see.
the question, no, I'm not a sedition, and I will never be a
Yeah.
sedition. What I
Okay.
am is
A reaction?
no,
You need to get
no.
a
I'm not gonna be a
Let's get you off.
sedition.
Let's see whether you can get a headphone so that the people.
But what I
Yes,
am going to do, if CDC is doing something that I like or the thing is right for my people, for the Republic of Liberia, and people like it, I will say it. I will be good. I will say it correctly. I'm not going to distract the record of sedition or CDC because I don't like CDC. Far from it. Far from it. Why I am not a sedition, I'm also not going to bring up foolishness and talk about CDC and its leadership as though they are not a Liberians. I'm not going to do that either. I'm not a sedition, but I'll be truthful.
Okay. What a long haul here this evening. After all your folks, they were anxious, and I told them that he want to show himself. You slam me out, go into Minnesota, go into this place and that place, and just all over the place. Welcome, the Liberal.
Thank you.
Yeah. I noticed something strange here, but who is the gentleman behind you there with the marine hat or marine suit?
Yeah, he's my third to the last. Just graduated from the Marine Corps. He's now a full-fledged Marine, which I'm very proud of. And the Marine and the American government and the American security apparatus have done a wonderful, wonderful job for me. They have given my son a basic, strong foundation as a human being, and that I appreciate. And that I appreciate, because not that he couldn't have gotten it from home, but it was going to be through love and caring and thing. Whereas when he went to Marine, they told him, your mom not here, your pa not here. Nobody's going to listen to your cry or any kind of baby stuff. And they treated him like a man. They treated him like a human being. And right now, when you see him, I will interview him before you go back to again. But when you listen to him a few months back, it's a vast different. And this is now just the only son that I have serving in the American security apparatus. I have my other son, Blito, who is also a sergeant in the Air Force. So he was in Iraq. He fought in Iraq. And so, I like it. And that's why I got Big Mouth. And I'm going to be turning my Big Mouth now onto America. They can't send me back anymore. I got my son in Marine. They're able to put immigration on me. They able. They able. Big, yeah. They able. Now I come over my Big Mouth now. Before, I was scared because I didn't want them to say, but they can't do it now. I got my son in the Marine. I'm coming to put my Big Mouth on the American politics now, Mr. So.
Okay, let's get information. So we're always keeping news proportional to news coming here. We're monitoring from France 24, at least 18 killed in 3 consolidated attacks in Mali, according to Mali military forces. The whole war is in a chaotic situation. So let's talk about the politics here. You're being on leave, you're doing stuff, slaughtering goats, enjoying yourself. Send me some of the pictures. I don't know whether you want me to put those pictures up. I don't think, but you talk to me behind the scene here. But I'm quite sure you've been monitoring what is happening in Liberia. News is about current event. Let's talk about the independence and what is happening right now. This guy, Yaka Koluba from ANC, is in Bon County. I'm not sure the protests that occurred in Monrovia on the date of the independence is bad extensions is what going on in Bon County. We don't know. We yet to get out independent confirmations, but it seems to be a crazy scenario right now. Sedition to the government, and people are happy. The president finally got the invitation to visit the United States. We do not know the content, what is in that invitation. It's welcoming, but there's a message hopefully behind. But here we are on the day of the independence. people try to express their civil liberties, their disagreement with their own government, which we know can happen here as well, it turned out to be ugly. And you always say the CDC or the seditions all will put their foot in their mouth. I don't know. That's one of the instances that have occurred here yesterday. Usually in this, one person name is always at the epic of this whole conversation here. That's City Mayor Jefferson Koji, our own Liberia Public Radio caught up with him today, and he's providing explanation. Well, let's go to a current event that is happening. Unity Party, Joseph Boyka, Ambassador Boyka, and his Unity Party are currently in Bangat, Bon County, one of the battleground states. Convention is ongoing. Potentially, there could be a change in the party chairman. Yaka Koluba is there. What the heck is he doing there? Let's bring these images here, courtesies of some of our sister network televisions in Liberia, and then we will talk about it here.
Now,
okay, let's have a conversation here. Mike Dan is with us. Hopefully his audio is good. Let's see. Mike
is it okay now?
Yeah, much better. Perfect.
Okay.
Let me bring in Mike here. He's near the Capitol, and information also coming out there. Mike, good evening and welcome.
Well, good evening, Mr. So, and a happy belated Independence Day to you all. I guess you guys celebrated in a grand style. We celebrated it with so many hula balloons, with promises, some good news, some promises made by our leaders and so forth. So we are good.
Okay, I'm not sure what I was celebrating, Gusta, but I'm happy by my country observed of 175th independence. Let's go strictly to the issue there. Too much is unfolding simultaneously in the country. Unity Party now is converging in Bangabong County. What are you hearing? What are the current developments you're hearing right there? Or what is going on right now in the nation's capital? You can tell us.
Well, so many things. If I would just start from yesterday issue, yesterday, as we all know, we celebrated 175th anniversary, attended by some heads of states of Africa, including President Muhammadu Buhari of Nigeria, Adama Barrow of the Gambia, and so forth. And but while in doing that, yesterday there was a protest at the United States Embassy here in Monrovia. That protest later on went a little bit brutal when some students from the Vanguard Student Unification Party from the University of Liberia were counter protests. They were faced with a counter protest from the Coalition for Democratic Change, COP, where one of the protesters from the SOUP got badly injured. One Cecelu, who is currently at a JFK seeking medication. So that have been condemned from all walks of life here in the capital Monrovia. Today, even the Unity Party also released a statement condemning that the action meted against the protesters from SOUP. So far, and like you asked, to the Unity Party is currently in Bangabong County. They will be there for a 3 days convention. We started today. They are going to elect a new code of officers that will prepare it for the 2023 election and so forth, governing the party. So this is what they are. But this afternoon we saw that portion of, I mean, while they were in that process, there was some confusion that broke out, though duty is yet to come. But from what we learned is that it started as a result of some supporters who were favoring certain candidate, and then they were not satisfied with issues that went on there. And so but according to some officials or some of our colleagues who we've spoken with so far, Khan has since returned to the convention, and the convention will proceed tomorrow, will continue tomorrow. So far, this is what we can see from the way things happen today in Bon County, and we are still getting information from our colleagues who are there.
Okay, the liberal. Let me bring in the liberal. Liberal, good evening.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. So.
Okay, here we are on the date of independence. We saw what happened yesterday. And I've always seen the lack of political tolerance on the part of our politicians, be it the oppositions of governments, is still unleashing, is still playing out. Who kicked the can down the road in this scenario?
Thank you, Mr. So. I think we have to be honest with each other here. As I always come out here and make this statement. CDC, they're very good at keep putting their foot in their own mouths. CDC cannot go a day or so after doing something good. People gravitate towards the celebration of what CDC has done. And before long, they will turn around and put their foot in their mouth. That they're very good at that. What do I mean by this here? Let's just take for what happened yesterday. You had a celebration. And before I go on, because I've been out for quite a while, so there's lots on my mind here, but I'm not too sure. Is that Jefferson Coach's story you want to play first before?
No, go ahead. Go ahead. You just said
right. And I'm not too sure if I'm able to unload all of that here, but I will do it little by little. Now, quite recently, we saw Dr. Weir, who, for me, to be honest with you, this is my thinking of Dr. Weir and his leadership. Dr. Weir, I believe his leadership style is very good. However, it is happening at the wrong time. Dr. Weir should have come in after somebody stabilized the country. And then Dr. Weir carry on the process of the stabilization. So, so go ahead. I'm going to take a few minutes here. Go ahead.
You are very lowly.
Yeah, go ahead, Mike.
Yes. So, like he was saying, Mr. They have been accusing fingers, pointing to the Lord Mayor of the city of Monrovia, that Jefferson Koji, that he was the mastermind of what occurred yesterday at the U.S. Embassy, where protesters, there was a counter protest to the University of Liberia students who were protesting. The answer comes, according to them, they have been protesting that there should be no celebration. The president should account for corruption and the lack of political will to fight corruption in the country, especially in his government, rather. So this is the ground that they were protesting on, but unfortunately they were hitting the process. They got hurt. One of the students even they went by head by stripping up naked and so forth. So it was actually bad. There are many people who are condemned on various platforms here in the country.
Oh, okay. Why? And I think he did he speak to them. Why people always making some reference to him? I'm getting the echo here. I'm not sure what I find at end. You don't have a headphone? I'm not hearing you. Your mic is muted.
My microphone is. I'm going to mute my mic while you talk. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm not sure why fingers has always been pointed at him, and why this. It was actually at the embassy. All right. I don't think it was like in other protest, demand either the president or someone from the hierarchy to come and receive it. I think their grievances were being directed at the embassy. All right. So why they couldn't, why they just couldn't let it go and keep it quiet? I assume GOL knew the invitation from my uncle sent that the president going to be coming here, and that could be a news people could really base on. But unfortunately, they didn't let that go again. But this is concerning. Okay. All right, I believe the Libra, if you are ready, just signal me, and then I'm going to get you right back on here. But in the meanwhile, Major Jefferson Koji today, he spoke to the media. He distanced himself and wondering why he always, and that he has nothing to do with what happens yesterday. Let's roll the tape, and we're going to have a conversation. Courtesy of our sister network in Liberia. Let's roll this tape here, and we're going to bring that to you right here now. Let's see here. Let's watch.
Welcome to the press. My name is Emmanuel Diabo. You are being accused of sponsoring a counter protest yesterday that led to the elimination of inquiry of those stated on the University of Liberia. What can you say about that?
Celebrate it 51 years of existence for such wonderful services. So we have found these services here. People who lost their life. Yeah, people who contributed immensely. So we thought it was to bring the very pleased as a young person be alive. The CGS can live 51 years. It's something very much magnet, We also want to see this time that our health workers are people very important services they run here. For you to see what is happening and what people are more often to see what transpired. In fact, the foremost thing that the fact that it took place in Monrovia, it is condemnable. There should be no space for any form of violence in this city. Whether it comes from Party X or Party Y, this country has gone through a lot. Let people start politicizing issues of personal benefit and undermine the nationalistic aspect of our country. I think it's wrong that whosoever seizes moral high ground and got on the Liberian and the justice system of our country, they should be much speeded. They should launch a speed investigation to see whosoever that is capable is going to above the law, such person will be brought to justice. I think this country has seen so.
The liberal. The liberal, are you there? The liberal. Samson too. Okay. I'm not hearing you. Are you hearing me, Samson? Are you hearing me, Samson too? All right. You need to check your microphone, my man. You need to.
Mr. So, no audio. Yes.
So your first day,
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Your first day, you did kind of.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Your first
I
day.
can hear you. Your audio.
I'm hearing you.
Yeah, yes, but your audio.
Samson too. I'm getting you loud and clear.
Yes.
Okay. You need to check your system.
I'm hearing you.
Okay, all right. Then let's have a conversation. Your first day, you're trying to give me headache here this evening. My goodness. All right, speedy investigation, speedy. Is that your first time hearing speedy investigation?
Yes, Mr. So, that's not good enough. I was trying to say something earlier, and then for some reason I have some hiccup, so I have to excuse myself. Look, Mr. So, this government, this city government here, they always, for some reason, they don't like good news for themselves. The president, as I stated earlier, I believe this president would have been better for Liberia if Liberia did not have so many challenges. Because he's an inspiration to many young people. If you were just there for inspirational purpose. However, this is not the case. We need somebody right now that will try to change the trajectory of the entire population, that will try to change or stabilize what is happening in the country.
You need somebody. Where is the person?
Yes, and we're not having that. Now, Mr. So, this government quite recently were in Nima County. And, I'm not faulting anybody. But those who were advising the president to grace the occasion of Prince Johnson's birthday, it was ill-advised.
Explain.
Because Prince Johnson is on the sanction list of the U.S. government, number one. And Prince Johnson does not have a good record in Liberia in terms of Liberian population. He might be loved in Nima County because that's his county, but not so with the entire country. And you, as a father of the entire country, will go and grace on the occasion of a man who is a pariah, so to say. That was something that was not. Those who were advising were not doing him a good favor. On top of that, the U.S. could have taken his name off of that invitation list because of that, but they decided to put his name on there, knowing full well that the independent days were coming up. And they even announced that during the independent day of the Republic of Liberia to raise the stocks of the president and the Republic of Liberia. And you couldn't tell me that the president and his people were not able to advise anybody who is associating themselves with CDC to do anything contrary to what's supposed to be happening on the Independence Day. This president has been credited for so many things. For example, he has press freedom in the country. He has freedom of speech in the country. That is it's unbelievable. Okay, and yet we are, and these people are throwing all of that away.
Okay, let's do it step by step. You see on the other side the president visit to Nima County. You want to take a break? You see,
go ahead. I'm Blaku. You say happy. Who cares? What are they going to do to me? What are they going to do? Because something too coughing. Man, I beg you, let them find to sit down, man. Go ahead.
Okay. I was talking to some old folks. When I say old folks, other people who have worked in government before. During the president first 2011, I believe, elections, Prince Johnson frowned on non-President Weah. He visited Grange there, and he wore a T-shirt of the late Samuel Doe. He went to Tucson, and he frowned on that he was not yet president, and he was doing that, and that was it. But let's just come back to the point here. Are you saying that his visit in recent time in Nima was a wrong political decision?
Specifically, his visit to the occasion of Prince Johnson's birthday celebration was ill-advised. Ill-advised. What has Prince Johnson done for the Republic of Liberia lately? For the sitting president of the entire country, the father of the nation, to go and visit Prince Johnson. Remember, the image of Prince Johnson shooting the man who was handcuffed with a white man is still fresh in the mind of many, many Liberians. He's a senator. That's fine. People like him in Nima County. But does that translate to love in the entire country? What is your purpose of going to his birthday celebration? That is one thing. Now, let me go back to what happened yesterday. After all of that, the government.
Okay, I don't know. Let me. Was that from me?
I know who I'm dealing with, so I'm not panicking. I know who I'm dealing with. I know this is Mr. So who would do stuff like that. I'm not surprised. But anyway, so they told them yesterday that he's been invited. He's been president 5 years. No invitation. He's been invited to the United States. Big movement for all of us as Liberians. Whether you like Dr. Weah or not. Then on top of that, you go in front. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes the mindset of those who are advising the president, the mindset of those who are around the president, I don't understand it. You saw the soup. Why did the soup take their demonstration? Why couldn't they have done it in front of the executive mansion? Why couldn't they have done it in front of the Capitol building? Where did they take it? They took it to the United States Embassy. And you're going to have people, the police in Monrovia could not block anybody else. This was a time for CDC and Dr. Weah to demonstrate, to say, look, I am the president. Anybody can say whatever you want to do. You want demonstration, just do it peacefully. And let these children demonstrate in front of the embassy. And the American embassy coming from the program, meet these children demonstrating with no issue. But what is the lead conversation today on all over Liberian media or Liberian internet? Is the flocking of that young man.
So let's have a conversation here. There is a strategic part to that. What I try to sense out from you, the soup is a soup, how they call it and whatever. Their decision was strategic. Did it on purpose because they knew somebody will fall into their their trial, because usually they start, even though I listen to some of the comrades on 50/50 and other network, initially they want to do it at the campus, but when they work out, security men were deployed and they decided to go at the embassy. That was not in the proximity of where.
So I don't mean to interrupt. Liberia University, LU specifically, most of the children are not there to learn. They don't consider LU as a learning institution. It's a institution where they practice their political craft. To be a student leader, to be thrown in jail in Liberia as a student leader, it's a badge of honor. They're not there to learn. If you go among those people, among the LU students, you're not going to find many engineers and science students over there. You're not going to find many of them. But many of them, look, just go down the line and look at Liberian today's politicians. Many of them was member of the Liberian student union. And many of those that are holding high power today, many of them were thrown in jail or went after by the sitting government at the time. So you would think that these people will have to say, okay, yeah, Dr. Weah is supposed to say, you know what, we've been here before. You want to demonstrate, you go demonstrate. If the American embassy want you out of that area, they will call us, we'll take you out there. You want to sleep there, you'll sleep there. Nobody go around that area. And that entire perimeter should have been called off by the police. Let them demonstrate. Because they were not stupid. They knew exactly what the reaction was going to be. They knew exactly what the reaction was going to be. You saw Grand Union County Representative car windshield got smashed in because he announced that he would not be celebrating. So they knew exactly what these people were going to. What they probably didn't expect was this much violence. But now he has taken over the celebration. Look at that beautiful speech the lady made yesterday. And we haven't even mentioned it on. Not many people talk about that. Where she preached unity. Where she said, we all can do it as united people. If we come together, we can get anything achieved. What do? They go out there and flog somebody. Because they say the president gave her tuition. That how you going to repay him? That repay business we have for? Let the children demonstrate. Why is it up to this time that you're not reading 4, 5, 6 of the people in jail by now? They're on their faces were not hidden. They're on Facebook. They can be identified very easily. Why not? This is the time for Dr. Weah and Jefferson, even the Jefferson coaching man who is denying this. Denying alone is not enough. And you know where I stand with Jefferson Koji. I like him. I like all of them. But when you do something that is not right, I will say it. Denying is not enough. Stand up. Stand up. And in fact, if I want to be ridiculous here, you as a mayor of the city, and these children were brutalized yesterday, organize, because you used to be former student leader yourself. Go back on campus, identify these children, the demonstrator, and you lead a demonstration. When you're demonstrating, I don't care. What are you for or not? But just to show that people are allowed to demonstrate in the Republic of Liberia without any fear of anything. This is ridiculous. But then again, we're talking CDC. I got binder for the CDC error. This is one of those on false error. It didn't have to happen. It didn't. So, so this is where we are.
And for some of us who are free thinker, this is the apprehension that is still hanging over us. CDC yesterday, they were opposition. They did all of the demonstrations, cascade, all sort of things happening. We have this current, we have another opposition group right now to very intolerant, indisciplined. They are unable to put their acts together. So there's still that apprehension, even if they were to succeed CDC today, see what is unfolding right before their very house, in-house itself. It's just, I'm not sure whether they are watching, seeing what is happening. Are they prepared? You saw Jefferson Koji there. Who doesn't want to be in power? Who doesn't want to be in authority? Life is a beautiful thing. Folks from nowhere, they are somewhere now, and everybody wants to succeed. But if you see some of these images, you see this transformation for the last 4 or 5 years of these people who they were before and their current status. Do you see that the people who will easily surrender? I'm not sure whether the opposition's kind of like putting off their thinking cap to look at the bigger picture, what is ahead, and just think, and just, oh, Joe, we are worth 10,000 shoe, 5,000 shoe. Joe, we are, he do this, that. The thing, is that enough to make the case to get to the finishing point?
Mr. Soul, I got news for this opposition. And then, of course, I'm speaking about myself as well. But I am an opposition with sense. I am an opposition with responsibility. I am opposition with respect to my opponents. Let me put it that way quickly. Mr. Soul, here's the news here for these opposition. If you think you're going to dislodge CDC from power with 10% percentage point winning, ain't not happening. If you want to dislodge CDC out of power, you got to beat them with 51% of the vote coming your way. 10% is not enough. 20 is not enough. Look, and this is what is going to be interesting. Dr. Weah is not a violent person. But what he doesn't like and what he doesn't tolerate easily is somebody to go against him or say something about him that is not of a nice nature. He doesn't come out and yell and scream, but he keeps grudges and he keeps it in your mind for good time. Now, however, he's not a violent person. I've been following the young man for a very long time. And let me throw a little soccer issue here. There was a guy that was playing for Porto in one Portuguese team, Porto. This guy was playing, he's a defender. And Dr. Weah at the time was playing for AC Milan. And this guy, for months, he's a defender, but for months, his belief was Dr. Weah has speed, Dr. Weah was too strong, Dr. Weah could dribble, and Dr. Weah had power to shoot and score anytime. So his belief was, they have another guy for AC Milan. He came after Dr. Weah. They call him Gattuso. This guy, the defender, believed that Dr. Weah would be afraid for people to kick him around, kick his legs. And at one time, he intentionally stepped on Dr. Weah's finger and almost severed it. It was just too much. And Dr. Weah showed him who the real crewman was. They were walking. The guy was making big mouth. He said nothing. Dr. Weah didn't say anything. They walked through the hallway. By the time they got to the other end, the guy's face, it looked like his whole nose, somebody had took it off. That's who he is. The point that I'm making here, Mr. So, is this. Before Dr. Weah and his CDC became a winner, I believe they were cheated throughout. But always, Dr. Weah would have evidence. He would say, I have evidence they've been cheating. And people from CDC will push the high line. Let's disturb. And he would say, no, because our time will come. So the issue here, Mr. So, Dr. Weah, do you look at McGill? Let's go Samuel 12, benevolent detective. Does he look at somebody that if you beat him by 10 points, he would say, yes, I accept it? Look what Donald Trump is doing to the United States. Here, in this country, where Donald Trump is saying he's still the winner. And then in Liberia, where there is nothing, no lie, nothing. You think Dr. Weah, his people, they say, oh, then they trap people from Guinea to come vote for them. Who will not believe it? So if you, and this is where there's confusion and there's stupidity of the opposition. There's so much childish behavior of the opposition. This is why it's hurting, and this is what's going to hurt them more.
Are you disappointed at what's going on in the opposition, Colin?
Yes, I am. Big time. Because the Liberian people's hopes and aspiration has been dashed mainly by the opposition. Because they were so... But I told you guys they were going to pay for it. Look what happened in Lofa County. Look what it did to them. If these people were to hold together, like some of us were preaching, Cummings, go second. Let Dr. Baka go. Dr. Baka is not going to go second 2 times. and you're going to be president.
Why he can go 2 terms?
Mr. So we're not going to rehash that issue again. Dr. Baca is having a good time over there in Bond County. Let him have the good time. And whatever is happening over there, let him have the good time. But here's what I'm going to say. Here's what I'm going to say about that. The issue with Lpr County demonstrate to them that the strength they had that brought Darren Dillons to the Senate, they no longer have that strength. And if they are not able to put themselves together, they will be flocked. And even if they put themselves together, you have to defeat CDC massively. If you beat CDC with 10 points, 20 points, you're not getting nowhere. You go to Supreme Court. It said the election was not fair and free. What the next thing? You can't bring war in Liberia. Nobody want to fight war in Liberia anymore, and nobody pray for that. So what's your next bet? Go to Supreme Court. In the meantime, while you're in court, CDC is in power. So this thing here, Mr. So, is going to be very interesting come next year. Come next year. If you're a political junkie like myself, pray to God that you be here next year, because it's going to be interesting.
Is it late, or is the clock eating away for the opposition?
Well, the opposition, they're going to have to cement. They have to cement themselves as put glue among themselves to say, yeah, we're staying together, no matter what. If you do that as an opposition, if they come together and stay together, and the entire international community from this point up to election start seeing, you don't have stop cussing, calling Kumi Rose and all the kinds of foolishness. You don't have people cussing each other, those kinds of stuff. And you have these people come together from now to the election. The international community will see that these people are together. If you're together, it will be difficult to put anybody for CDC, put anybody in there. Look what CDC is doing today. You think that confusion in Bond County, you think that's something that's small thing? CDC put it same in their gari, in the Unity Party gari. You don't think CDC sent people over there to disturb? Of course they did. Of course they did. What? So there's nothing secret about that. And this is how they're going to happen. They try with the opposition, and they split them up. Do you hear any kinds of CDC before the confusion in the CPP? CDC were very concerned. They started organizing very early, and then started thinking how they can organize more.
Like we are rewriting history here. Then it looks like the victim is becoming the victor, and the victor is becoming the victim, because we've been hearing a lot from the opposition, thinking that they are the smartest, they get it, smartest brain, and CDC is just some sort of Fiamomo party. But interestingly, CDC has managed, and this is why I don't like to hear CDC do this, that CDC infiltrated our party. Of course, you remember Lawson Plaka, who used to play for Togo national team? When he hit Salensa Dibat and the very now then George Weah, they ask him, why are you always in the habit of destroying good players in Africa and other places? He said, anybody that poses threat to my side, I do everything possibly I can to get you off. So is the opposition not aware? They think that's a little game they won't play?
No, the opposition, let me speak my real library.
You are one of those. It's good.
Mr. So we're not going to. It's too soon. It's very early to take the liberal somewhere else this evening. Please, we don't have your supporter here. We don't have anybody to back you up. And so I don't want to take you to the clinic tonight. So please, you invited me on your show. I accept it, and I want to be kind to you. Please, don't go back to whatever it is. Let me make my point cleanly, and so we can move on. Here's what we've been saying let me speak on Liberia English. You've been watching my show. This is what I've been saying to the opposition. That look, Mr. So, let me be serious and speak good English. If there's such thing as good English, which I don't know. I don't know English, but let me speak the way I know how. Look, Mr. So, Dr. Weah, if you honor cut him, you do it at your own peril. If you take him for granted, you will be hurt. This man play football, and many of you that play football, ask Mohamed Musadin, for the ball to come to you and be able to control and be able to move the ball the way you want, you would have already 5, 6 steps ahead of anybody else on our feed. That's smart. Dr. Weir is not a dumb person. He's very smart. And if you think the way he thinks that he did on the, why you think he was so good? Because he was smart, technically. And you think he's not able to bring that kinds of technical thinking into this position, then you're fooling yourself. If you want to approach, or if you want to go as an opposition to Dr. Weir, put yourself on that same page. If you play around, you think, look what he did with the soccer team the other day before yesterday, and you all the people were laughing. He was coaching, people were laughing. You think the man's stupid? If you fool yourself and take this man for granted, CDC, that another 6 years coming, then someone will start begging for a job with CDC. I say you take CDC as a true political opposition. I mean, political leaders, and you attack them from that perspective with respect. Don't, what you talking about a man $4,000-5,000 shoe that you business? What shoe got to do with it? How you gonna tie the shoe with the election?
See, you are in the process of eating crow.
I can't hear you. I can't hear you. You're getting ready to. What were you saying?
You are one of those pushing the soundbite of the same very people names that you call here. They were doing stupid and crazy thing, and you guys were unable to call them out. And interestingly, the Liberians electorate themselves for a deceit. I don't trust anybody, and I have all tons of reasons not to trust them. The behavior of these people, because they are so greedy, the lack of political tolerance, all of these advocates, this, that, and I've said this before, their attitude just shows exactly what is unfolding now, that they could be more dangerous if we are to even entrust them with state power, simply because they are unable. If CDC, the coalition government, is an obstacle that it needs change, I differ with them a lot on policies, why? But they have been unable to keep the conversation. Now, where are they going now? Where are they now in the political landscape? Are they all over? If they were together, Kumi should be on one side of the country, to maybe the eastern side, the southern side. Boyka, your man that you support, should be on the other side to solidify their political grave. Benana Uri, the trouble man within the man who brought the chaos within the CDP, and still Joseph Boyka is still hanging up with Benana Uri. Darius Dillon, there now, they all tend to talk shows simply because they want to control the political narrative. And guess what? You people, their supporters, edifying them, claiming that they do not have outlet to go to. That is ridiculous. It is absurd. I mean, it makes no sense. If they're serious, they mean business, they need to be going throughout the length and breadth. They should be able to have people who should be on top of their ticket to introduce these people now. But they have what they are doing now. They are having a political theater now, calling it whatever they are, because they want to preach, they want to be in control of their narrative. They were all friendly with all of these networks all over here yesterday. What happens? Musa Belete now, who was being demeaned, when they got to know Musa Belete was a crook or Musa Belete is a frog and all of that, but yet then still, they have the guts to take his capital, get them to the finishing line, and they think that they're going to get a back key. That's crazy. And you here, you were supporting all of those behavior.
Mr. So, you see, this is what makes you different from the liberal. I'm a liberal. My views, I look at things from a broad perspective. You, the conservative, the central right who is not here tonight, you guys have a narrow way of looking at things. I look at it from a broad perspective. Not only that, what I do is get people the long rope until they can no longer hold on to the rope. That's human life.
Who is not holding on to the rope?
Mr. So, please, you can't do this to the liberal. You can't. This is like I said. The night is very soon. I mean, it's too early for me to take you out right now. But anyway, let me get back to this point, Mr. So. I understand your position. Yes, I was here preaching for the unity for these people. I was here discarding all of the big deal that people were crying about. I was here somehow not accepting some of the things that is happening. Mr. So, the point here is this. They have a term what they call evolve. And if you're evolving on something, it means you're gradually moving forward. That's why they call me the liberal progressive. Mr. So, look, the opposition, when they started the confusion, I was under the impression, and two of them, Comey and Bakai, gave me that impression that they were going to be able to settle this issue. They didn't. It got out of hand. Mr. So, Comey was here on your show, and I asked him that question. He said it was under control. It didn't. Dr. Bakai went to Philadelphia, and that same question was, he said, by the time I get back to Liberia, things will be changed. It didn't. The point here is this. These people, the opposition, they allow the Liberians, including some sedition, to hang their hopes and aspirations on them. And then they decided, because they feel like Liberians were doing whatever it takes to remove Dr. Weah. Yes, our intention of removing Dr. Weah does not equate to hate of Dr. Weah. So if you want to help us to dislodge Dr. Weah from the position, does not mean we hate him. It is policy difference. The differences in policy is what encouraging us to go to be in opposition. It's not hate. But many of these opposition desire to use the bridge of hate. And if you do anything in life, I believe, from a perspective of hate, you will not be successful. Now, let me go back to this again, Mr. So. These people, they decided to somehow take Liberians for granted, the opposition, that is. Having given them December 2020 election, massively in Mosserado County, in the backyard CDC, they decided, oh, I don't need, look at the kind of people we got on our side. We don't need to be together. You go your way, I go my way, I will still win. Is that right? Is that right? So they decided to test that theory. I call it theory anyway. They decided to test it in Lofa County. They got to Lofa County when Dr. Baka went to Lofa County. Yaka Koluba went to Lofa County. Dallas Dillon went to Lofa. Honorable Delight went to Lofa County. What happened? They came back with their tails between their legs.
When they
came back, they were not even able to talk on any talk show. Why? Because they decided to take the goodwill of the Liberian people for granted. They were not taking it serious. Now, the good thing is, the smart politician will now go and restart and say, let's take stock of what is happening here. Let's try to review what went wrong, what happened. And then you go. Don't act like CDC. When CDC got flogged in Mosserado County, hey, no big deal. We stay together. This was the time for them to say, oh, we're not going to get it. But because of the inept behavior of the opposition, the guy, Tomofala, is now crowned again around the CDC hierarchy as the man to beat, as a meat man now. Tomofala, the man who got whooped in Mosserado County like nothing else. Now he's a big shot now among CDC. So this is what I'm saying to you, Mr. So. CDC, right now, the Unity Party having whatever they're doing, manga, that's none of my business because I'm not part of the Unity Party. But when they come by, whoever they bring up, and the person get to be by, and they come by as CPP, then CDC will be in trouble. If not, individually, CDC don't even have to cheat. Dr. Baka cannot beat George Weah by himself. Cummings cannot beat George Weah by, nobody can beat Dr. Weah by themselves. Nobody. And take it to the bank. I say so. You're hearing fame my mouth. My hearing, what you do to me? I'm block cool. I say none of these people, without joining together, will be able to defeat Dr. Weah. I say so.
Do you think they have realized that?
Do I think what?
Do you think they have realized that just what you said, that they cannot do it alone?
They know that. They know it. It's been on them. They know it. However, The point here is this. You know, Mr. So, I've always stated this. If there's a bunch of people in a room, in order, if you have an organization, or you have something to go by as a group, you must have some stupid people among you. Because if everybody thinks that they're smart, they got sense, you're not going anywhere. What happened to the crab when you put 4, 5, 6, 7 crab in the bucket? Because all the crab they think they're smart. I will be the first to get out because everybody's smart. But if the crab decide to be stupid, say okay, clear on top of me, I will take the weight. Y'all go. When y'all get there, they'll pull me out. But that's not what happening here. Every one of the politicians, they think they're smart. Mr. So, the sad thing right now is this. We have few other politicians that people should look at. People should look at them. My concern with these people, like people like, and I'm calling names, people like Councillor Gonglo and Lima Boy.
You see, why are you not stable? Is that Gonglo?
Mr. So, will you please let the liberal finish a statement? Why are you always interjecting when a liberal is on the roll? I think I'm hot tonight. Please don't try to mess it up. But among my children are the most handsome person. In fact, in the whole world, I'm the most handsome person. Who's gonna tell me that I'm ugly? You know what my face can look at? What I see in the mirror, I beg you, I find. So please don't try to ruin my day. Mr. So, the point here is this. These people going to have to understand. They know these things. But the issue here is this, the way I see it. They refuse to accept reality. Kumi, honorable, good leadership, and the most best leader ever in Liberia, Dr. Honorable Kumi. I say so. He cannot defeat Dr. Weah by himself. No way. Dr. Bakai, who is a stabilizer, who should be the next president of the Republic of Liberia, cannot defeat Dr. Weah by himself. And they nonsense notion of saying, oh, we just go each of us, and then whoever come closer, then we can join together. It will be too late. By that time, if y'all go first round, second round, CDC will have solidified its grip on power. Because people will know, oh, if I leave right now, I might not even get what I want. I'm going to stay with CDC. That's exactly what will happen in Liberia. They will start fighting for a cup of rice, and they will start fighting for chicken soup. We're talking about how for people to live. Instead of these people, it's very sad. These are intellectual, highly educated. And me, I don't even know anything, but I got binder folder, CDC. I don't say error, I say unforced error. That means error that any baby cannot even make, but CDC will make that kind of mistake. That's what they do. They're very good at that. And you would think the opposition will set up a war room by this time and start capitalizing on some of these mistakes and bringing it to the Liberian people, bringing it to the attention of the Liberian people, the CDC mistakes since they came to power. We will not have Liberians as a spectator in their own country. Liberia is not only a spectator, they are foreigner in their own country. You can point that out. You can explain that. You can show evidence for that. And many of the people that are watching will say, what is evidence? Well, let my show start next week, and I'll start pointing the error. But I will do it with respect. I will do it with responsibility. I will also show CDC good things CDC have done, including my nemesis, Tue, who I believe should not even become close to any kind of accounting business in Liberia, let alone finance minister. But he's very smart, very intelligent, highly educated. But he doesn't like to be challenged. And this is a downfall.
Let's take a break. We are getting some development here. Well, happening right now. We are getting information. Tension is mounting between Representative Ero Madison Guyent of Grand Juda County and that of Senator Zoe Emmanuel Peno. Sources close to Madison are telling us that finger is being pointed at Representative Zoe Emmanuel Pennant with respect to what happens. We can also say that the former education minister, former minister of state for presidential affairs, who is also a representative of Grand Juda County, Dr. Josh Bully, will be appearing on Liberia Public Radio. Just confirmed this here on Sunday, and we'll be touching on wide range of issue. I'm not sure whether you monitor the press conference. This is all things considered, so we're going to put them all in a basket of deplorable here. This evening here, lot is unfolding. I'm getting a message from Ellis Chesia Green, who happens to be a close ally to Zoe Emmanuel Peno as well. It's getting to be ugly. It is ugly, not even getting to be ugly. And it's everywhere, not just only in Grand Juda. I was talking to folks. And interestingly, I was speaking with someone today in Kakata who works for the public corporation, a tournament agency. They have not paid in according to them. I don't know. We yet to authenticate that news with the agency or people close to that they have not paid them, but they have been told that they should get it because they are received because they wanted to make this holiday season to be a good one. And this person, they are also part of the opposition, but they are sick and tired the way things are being handled by the same very opposition. It putting those people who has pivoted in the directions of the opposition to see them as alternative, their lack of political tolerance, their inability to give a concise message, what they represent, what they want to do. They are unable to unify themselves to do what is right. Is troubling to other electorate. More or less, they are in a political theater, entertainment, and then really addressing the issues that are confronting. And let me just say this here to our people. We don't tell people here on this network here, we don't tell people what you want to hear. You need to hear what you're supposed to hear. If you are from the other side and you just think you're going to be a, how do you call it? What's the name? What's the food the children like to eat?
Salad.
Salad.
Salad dressing.
You can eat salad.
You see me look like. Look at my face. A black lady. Do I look like white man to go eat salad?
They like mac and cheese. Yeah, kesala leaf and butter. You are 100% crown man.
Exactly.
They think that they're just going to match in as much as bad as it is, policy-wise, the way things are being handled, being conducted with these endless investigations and all of that. These are authentic and genuine argument that these people can make. And you rightfully pull it into context. That was a true confession on your part here this evening, even though you would not want to admit that. Please give me a chance, let me talk. That the opposition, their soundbite has been hate. They are unable to soften their tone to be able to convince ordinary Liberian. And everything they just think they're going to be shouting because they get a loudest voice and they just think that how people are going to listen to them. It doesn't work. And not just only Liberia. What they fail to realize, their success also based on the international community. People that are within the diplomatic enclave of the country. They got to see that sense of responsibility in them. It's not happening. So you guess what? The same very people that they are scratching their heads. They themselves thinking, this thing here, what we're having here, it's not looking correct. But the other people that are coming through the way they're walking, they're more than the devil itself. They're in the town already. So what do we do? So the behaviors of the opposition, the advocates community, those that even support these political parties and they call themselves political leaders, they're just not been doing good. They are not looking in the eyes of these people to tell them, hey, in as much as I support you, you are leading the wrong path. You are not doing what is right. I will also indict you in this here. coming back here, that's been very disingenuous to come back to your audience after you alluded that Joseph Boyka told the Liberian people here in the diaspora. In fact, we relayed that program on this network. Samson told you know that. You don't need to hold your hair like a baby. You're not a baby. I want to get your full attention. That he was going to go back and stabilize what was going on in the CPP. You can drink a gallon or a bucket of water. I don't care. You finish, you're going to have your day. He left, you went, and we saw the whole train derail. And you're coming back here to tell me he's a stabilizer. What is he stabilizing? You have your day.
Mr. Soul. I know you want to have a jab, pick a jab at me here tonight, but that's okay. First thing is, let me let everybody watching us, let you guys know. My ain't saying you ma. You ain't saying my ma. The thing I'm gonna do, the way I know, is the only thing I shouldn't do is to say something here that I know is not true, that I want to lie. Once I face the camera, what I say, it might not be true to you, but I believe in it. I'm not here to come sugarcoat anything. I'm here to come please anybody. That's not my job. My job is to say as I see. Now listen again. Now listen. I say as I don't say as we see. I don't say we know. As I see it. You can disagree with me. That's what makes it very interesting. That's what makes it beautiful. Now let me deal with the far right Liberian conservative here on the Liberian Public Radio. Mr. So, look, right now I feel for you tonight because the central right, who would normally be here to be your side helper and things like that, he's not here tonight. So I will take it easy. Let me go straight to the point, Mr. So. The opposition, on a very serious note, what the opposition not taking into consideration most of the time is because of their behavior, their supporters, and that go down the line. And even some advocates who are not even supporters of the opposition, they are not going to be respected by CDC and the CDC people, because CDC, they think they're on a high route. If you get in a town, you start beating all the young people in the town, nobody there, who's going to challenge you? So anybody that runs, I've let the part, but look how you beat it. What I would say, that's the same thing here. You think if the opposition, if they were strong and together, you think what is happening to Madison Green will happen? Madison Green is sedition, rare blood sedition. Madison Green, I'll say it anyway. Most likely is one of the founding fathers of CDC. Madison Green used to be in refugee camp in Ghana. You can't pass Madison Green about CDC business. All day, people would say, because I was not on the camp, Madison Green and CDC business, you don't play with it. But look what's happening. Look what's happening. And then the people that think CDC have it in the bag, they'll do anything they can. They have no respect. You think if the opposition were together, Dr. Weir would have gone to Nimakan and go great and go to the occasion of Prince Johnson's birthday celebration? He won't do that because he knew very well that the opposition would throw that at him. And the opposition will hold him responsible because Prince Johnson is on the sanction list. And he knew very well that if he had done that, if the opposition were together, that would have been a talk, and most likely letter or somewhere from one of the high-ranking opposition would have gone to the American embassy complaining about stuff like that. But because they are not together, CDC can do anything they want to do. They will beat anybody they want, and nothing will happen. Up to this point, the stuff that happened yesterday, have you read anywhere on some of the social media today, what are these people have been arrested? No, nothing. I haven't heard it. Maybe they have. I haven't heard that. But my main point here, Mr. So, is this. If you go into anything, into opposition, because of your hate, then you will not be successful. You must be in opposition based on policy difference. And not the man's size shoes, or not the kind of shoe he's wearing. the kind of clothes he's wearing, that has nothing to do with it. If you think Dr. Weah is corrupt, and if you think the CDC and the government of Dr. Weah is corrupt, take them to court. There's a system. Whether we like the system of that, we have a system in Liberia. If you think Dr. Weah and his people are corrupt, if you have evidence, bring it up. Didn't they just have that a few years ago? They have an auditor. They have where they have that map out, $25 million map out. There was an auditor, and we still have the report. So all of those things are still there. When was the last time you heard the opposition talk about $16 billion? When was the last time you heard the opposition playing the model by model tape, which he said it was talking about liquor talk? When was the last time? Those are things, if you're serious opposition and not hate position. If you come into this as a hate position, you're going nowhere, because Liberia will recognize who you are and they're not going to follow you.
Well, the returns of the Liberal Progressive, is it true that there's a political twist on your part? Who are you now? Where do you stand?
Mr. So, I'm a liberal, the progressive. Blaku, SAMSON told. My hain fein ya ma, their hain fein my ma. They can't do nothing to me. I'm Blaku. I will support anyone who has the interest of the Liberian people. At this point, to be honest with you, I'm so confused. Even as much as I consider myself a political junkie.
Whoa. Hold on right there. At this point, you are what?
Let me say again. You can play over and over. It don't matter to me. At this point, even as much as I consider myself a political junkie, that includes United States politics and Liberian politics, I consider myself a political junkie. I am confused with respect to the opposition. Who are they? Oh, well, excuse me, opposition, Dr. Honorable Delight, talk show host. What are you hosting? Talk show for what? Is that the talk show now will give you idea how to carry on the Senate activities? What are you doing? You did it because it was an election. What is it are you doing now? Are you going to use your show now? Are you going to use your show now to show to the Liberian people how the government is working? Are you then also, because it's a talk show, if it is a talk show, you have to be fair. You have to bring in, if you accuse CDC, you have to bring them in to answer for whatever accusation you have against them.
That's not going to happen.
Excuse me?
That's not going to happen.
No, but then you're not serious. That's what I'm saying. Sooner or later, people will know what you're doing, and then it will become a flap.
So what is the?
You're not yet. There's a slogan within the last 3 months or so. Liberian will say, "We're not stupid around here." You not hear it? Many
but I don't know why they're flipping it around. They're stupid, and that's why they're doing.
No. I don't think so. They're coming and say, "We're not stupid around here." Mr. So, here is what you need to know. Look, on a very serious note, during the onset of the epidemic in Liberia, when they had that shutdown from 6 to 3, people do business at 3 o'clock. There was a very serious discussion among the young people that were in the street. The question was, oh, this disease can't catch you until 3 o'clock. After 3 o'clock, then the disease go away. Is that what it is? And it was in the street. So Liberians are not stupid. The problem is, who do they go after as their leader? Who do they trust to lead? And we have that same problem here in the diaspora. The Liberian diaspora, they got money. I bet you if they could find a single leader or a bunch of group leaders who has nothing to record, that will come out to say we need money to build, especially Southeastern, to build the road, they will be able to get the money. But who can they trust? Sano County, they got issue with money business in their organization. Grand Union County, they got issue with money business in their organization. River G, they got issue in their organization with money business. Name all of the county organizations in the United States or in the diaspora. They have issue with money. Go to EULA, they have issue with money. This is the problem we have. Who do you trust? Liberians are willing to help your brothers and sisters, but who can you trust? Everyone wants to steal money. Everyone wants to steal from their own brothers and sisters. And this is the issue. Even all the opposition, blah, blah, blah here. Dr. We are, if you leave tomorrow, you bring Anthony Cassani and the people and the Dr. Baka, then you bring them in. They will steal the same thing. I say so. I say so. You bring all of the people, George Lobo there, my own son, Costa there, you put them in position, they will enrich themselves. So who you're fooling around? You're nobody stupid.
And I'm glad that you are really, upon your return, true confection is taking place. And I hope you will keep on that course. And this is why some of us always say, and people want to know, oh, where does he stand, what he do, he this way, that way. But it is what it is. Now, here we are, here we are, the global and all of these people, are they not fit for office? Maybe simply because they are not trusted. Unity Party being in existence for the long years, and at this point in time, they are unable to write a new vision to drive this institution together. To drive this institution. CDC is doing the same thing. If you ask real sedition right now, with their talking point, President George, we have 6 years. Okay, let's take that as a face value for the conversation. But after let's say 12 years, that's what they are saying. After the 12 years, who is CDC now preparing? They will not tell you anything. You ask ANC folks, Cummings, even though he said here, and after this, that's what he said. But politicians, they are always slippery. They say it today, the next day they say the people say it. By the request of the people. You ask them after this election, if Cummings doesn't win, I'm not declaring that Cummings not going to win or whatever it is. We are having a conversation. Who do they have in their backyard? Nothing. Vandela Patrick. I don't trust all of these advocates. I've been calling him. He announced his candidate say he's going to be contesting for Mount Gibby. Interestingly, I'll be forced to say they saw me flipping stuff here. It's good to say we're good people to have a conversation. And that is more or less job related. I was privileged yesterday. It's a series of sections is still ongoing to sit with great people, CEOs, managers, executives in what I call leadership. And these people begin to break down the qualities that one should have or that involve in leadership. This was a quote here from the late Collins Powell. There is no end to the good you can do if you do not care who gets the credit. When our chief executive, when they brought that, I hold my head. You listen to that. Our advocates, what they want to do, they want to get a credit. If it is not there, there should be nobody. And when you have that sort of mindset, it kills the vision. Because, so my understanding, and I've seen this over and over, they are doing all of this because of publicity storm, so that tomorrow, if they get in the game, there will be there will not be a issue with name identity. You know, oh, SAMSON told Alfonso so the whole day they sit down, this and that. So I just wake up now without preparations, without doing my due diligence. I want to be senator, I want to be representative of Boston District. Doesn't mean I can't do it, but hey, every human being, you should know your own limitation. There are certain things that you can do, certain things you can't do. Or maybe there's things people sit down, they watch them on Facebook, and you have this sort of fabulous, most good side of attraction. You get jump, you want to be a leader. There are qualities. You must be a good communicator. You must be a listener. You must be someone who can reason, tolerance. All of these people, they are Donald Trump type of people. They cost everybody up. Down to people even that support them, who even gave them, who even built them out. They respect them. But again, it's a very difficult thing. It's a very volatile thing to keep a conversation because guess what? Those same very people, they don't see it to be anything. When you even talk about it, they justify the actions and behaviors of these people and they would tell us, say, oh, when it happened yesterday, you forget. So I'm not sure where we are heading as a people, as a nation, when everybody is so full of temper, nobody is willing to give in, nobody is willing to listen to anybody, nobody can even afford to allow his or her friend point to go through. How can we have a civilized society like that? That we can sit and have our disagreements sorted out and find what is workable and put it to our people. It's not happening. And I'm telling you, we'll come right back here. We're going to have this conversation. And at the end of the day, all going to happen is blame game. He did it. She did it. It was because of him. We didn't get this. We didn't get that. But they are not catching it up right now that the clock is eating away. Politics is all about strategic planning. Very strategic. They don't know that.
Mr. So, let me just give you two scenarios here, one of which I was involved with. About 10 or some more years ago, the late Councillor Bronski was here in the United States, and there was a leadership conference over there in Chicago, which I was one of those that I attended the conference. And we were driving from one point to another, and I asked a question because I know we've been doing these things here I've been involved since my days as a young man when I first got here. Been involved with EULA and everything else. So I asked a question: why are we doing this every time conference here? We all run the conference there, and Ormoyano said to me, "Samson, we do this. That's what keeping us alive." And that's exactly what is happening here with the Liberian issue. However, there are people that are suffering because of this poor judgment that some of us would make, thinking say we're leader. I'll give you another one. I just got a text earlier this afternoon, and the text was to show me that a gentleman, a PhD, a guy with a PhD, had done some research. And he's now presenting that research at the Smithsonian Institute about Liberia. They have found the papers. There's among the academician, there's an understanding. I have no clue on that. There's an understanding that the paper, the original document during the purchase of Monrovia, of whatever settler were buying for them to set the original document, the guy found it. He's making that he's making that presentation about Liberia. But guess what? He's been following that thing, been researching that stuff for the last 25 years, specifically about that document. And now he's going. I have this stuff here. I'm going through it. Eventually I'm going to play it. Another thing I want to say, Mr. So, we have the young people, highly educated. And some of them are still educating themselves, like the Custer, like the Lobo. They're still educating themselves. And I have no doubt they're very smart. But I see young people right now. What is the policy position? Policy that the opposition can stand on and improve the lives of the citizens of Liberia. What is the policy position? What is it? What are some of the academic issues that are affecting our people? What are some of the economic issues that perhaps you, as a young man who was trying for Dr. Bakar Ispo to succeed, what are they? How do you do with the monetary policy? I have no clue because I'm not there. But these are things that they now, if they're truly serious, they want to succeed. This is a time for them to get together weekly. I would prefer weekend where they can say, okay, what do you can even use this as part of your study. But they're not doing that. Everyone.
You're not either doing that. You're not asking your man.
So will you let me finish my point? They're not doing that. Many of us have a talk show. I'll give you an example, and I keep bringing this up. One of these days, I will blabber my mouth, and then I will share it. Some time ago, Liberty Party, during the going election, if they were to listen to the Liberian diaspora, Liberty Party perhaps would have done better. They came to us and they asked the Liberian Liberty Party, like USA, to say, we want you guys to put together a position of papers for each one of these technocrats, for each one of these positions, the medical doctor, lawyers, engineers, whatever. You guys put yourself as a group and come up with a paper. What are things Liberty Party need to do now if they were successful? What are things they can do now to get Liberia going? I was in an engineering group. I still have our papers here. And we were able to put together some nifty engineering ideas. Ideas from us, Liberian. I'm from Toa Town. And I'm putting idea on paper to benefit the people in Toa Town. Because I was there. I know what it takes. I know what exactly they need to do in terms of roads, infrastructure. Do you see this opposition doing that? And here's the thing you must understand. If this opposition, if they start being successful, guess what? You're going to find another independent CPP. This is how Liberians always work. They're always tearing each other down. They did the same thing with Dr. Weir. Oh, the man, oh, you kidding me? Oh, the man know nothing. They were the one that were being stupid, I would say, because they knew very well that Dr. Weir was going to be elected, not based on leadership ability, but based on popularity. The entire population of Liberia, they love him. There's no question asked. But instead of these broke people that have the brain to move the country, gravitate towards this young man, knowing full well that he's going to succeed, and even helping to succeed. And based on his leadership, let him, since he's popular with the people, he will be elected. But then you come in with a policy statement, with a policy issue, how to address the issue in Liberia. That's why Samuel Tuah thinks he's the smartest person in the room. Have you had an interview with Samuel Tuah when it comes to economics? He talks blah, 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 because he doesn't think you know anything. That's what it is. These people push Dr. Weir away, and people like Samuel Tuah and McGill say, come to Papa, we'll help you. They're helping you. Like, then you're whining. Now, after he made elected, he will turn a bike on them and come to you. Halamahala, see me, no way. He stay with them.
And that's it. And it just doesn't make sense. All of them yearning, screaming here is because they want to be the Koji as well.
Yeah.
But they are not working. They are not doing things that would make them, it's so bad. And their focus is, they're not even pointing it to the policy of the government. Everything Jefferson Koji. Jefferson Koji is a major tie. He serves at the will and pleasure of the president. I'm not suggesting that whatever he does is what the president is telling you. But the guy who appoints him is the person you should go after. And going after him, it must be done strategically to point out those things. Not with anger, not with the mindset that you want, we used to listen to the Shaolin show, Black Dragon Revenge the Death of Bruce Lee, because you want to. Now, if you are opposition, talk show host, commentator, or whatever it is, and your attitude does not commensurate with a sort of leadership style, guess what? Then I'm thinking that you are the next resurrected Idi Amin, because you're not there. You start cursing people, man. You start cursing people, power, and start damning everybody, cursing women, And I mean, and just no piece of respect for anybody. Guess what? If they make you police chief, any fly that pass, they're trying to find its owner fool, they're going to kill it. And this is what I learned here. We're going to be wrapping up here from that training session here. You people, you need to tell your people, you're still not opening up Joseph Boyka, who been in government, and I'm making reference to him because I'm anticipating and expecting him to know better. They don't have any structure. They don't have anybody that speak for them. Anybody wake up daybreak, they wash their face, they speak as if they are the owner, as if the party is not an institution. They treat these political parties as their personal property that is in their pocket because simply they have the financial will, they have the financial capability, or whatever it is, or they love being before the cameras to be the only good talker. That just speaks to the quote of Collins' power. Those people in our sections, they have identified 3 basic skills or qualities a leader should have. If you really do a really thorough check, our people, they can't even get one. Intelligence, technical skills, relationship, then it says / people skills. If you look at our leaders, the political leaders, if you are a leader and I'm a supporter, and people know that I am supporting you, but I'm doing things crazy out there publicly, not in hidden. It is visible. People see it. And you are unable to tell me to come to my senses. Hey, this is not who I am. This is not what I represent. Where may you think that you can be the same Koji, Samuel Tuwe, or Magaden that we are talking about if you become president? It makes no difference. And these people are not telling them. And they're just running over everybody. I think it is time for us maybe to be having some sort of teaching section now, because the electors, they are responsible as well. They also have a shared responsibility of what is unfolding, ongoing, because they are not telling their leaders. They just gave, because some of them, they're money that costs money. They support these people, they give them money, no accountability. It also commensurate with then when these people become leader. What the hell you will give money to people for the special stuff, and then at the end of the day, they can't pay, and then when people ask you, you say, oh, your money not inside. Now you're waiting out tomorrow. If they get state power and they start doing those same things, then you come back to tell us, knowing what I know. So these are the people that are also creating problems for us. The Liberal Progressive, is good to have you back here. Hopefully, I see a lot of changes. Hopefully, you remain in that position. You will not change. But again,
Mr. So, please don't push this to a limit that is uncontrollable. Because I'm a liberal. I evolve. I see and I speak. So if things change tomorrow, and I see it, and it's in the favor of the Liberian people, I'm going to speak about that. So please don't hold me. I'm a liberal. I'm evolving. I'm a liberal progressive. I follow where good things are for our people. So don't hold me to this. Say you're not going to change tomorrow. No. If I see the CPP, they're doing good, and I see Dr. Baka is doing good, I will say so, and I'll be singing. And if I see Dr. Weah is doing good, I will say it. I'm not here. Here is what they need to know. At this point, I'm an engineer. I've been in engineering business for the past 30 some more years. All my kids are almost grown. I don't need
the last one said
government job. Huh?
The last one stayed 9 years old, because the last 7 months he been 9 years old. Oh man.
Yeah, my 9-year-old. No, he gonna be 13 now. So we're going little by little. And when he's 18, I'm going to Liberia. So every time they call me for job or anything, I can't leave my baby and go anywhere.
Let's quickly, in the last 3 minutes, let's go at domestic politics here. It seems to be a rough edges with the president and the people of the Southeastern, specifically Grangeda County. I do not, based on what I know and what I'm hearing, there's some sort of uneasiness here. We have Dr. George Bulley. I'm not sure whether you listened to the press conference,
but I think very soon what I'm hearing, Mr. So, if it comes to pass, the CDC will just neutralize Madison Guion, Dr. Boley, and Marsha Denny very quickly. If what I'm hearing, if it's true, when it comes to Grand Gila County, Dr. Weir would neutralize those people easily because Grand Gila County hearts, their hearts are all here in the diaspora. Many of their kids, their brothers and sisters are here in the diaspora. Their daily bread comes out from the diaspora. So if what I'm hearing, if Dr. Weir and his people are able to focus on the Liberian, the Granadian diaspora and make them happy on this side, not necessarily giving them job. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about job. But without me going too much into detail, if what I'm hearing, if it becomes true, you will quickly neutralize Dr. Bole, Madison Guion, and Honorable Marshall Denny very quickly.
Very quickly, Prince Johnson spoke in a specific and a call during the visit, on the president visit to Nima County. And he made a reference to, we're making plan to have Johnson Gweglo here as well. That Nima have not had the opportunity to the vice presidency since Moses Blah. And he, Prince Johnson, was introducing Johnson Gweglo at what I would say a very reflective or some sort of recollections of things that happened at that point. Bob Pierre or whatever it is, the divide with he and Charles Taylor. Would there be a political consequences if CDC, we don't know how, it's a trouble in the NPP as well. We're waiting to see how that convention plays out. And I think that's why the CDC itself is looking at if Joel Howard Taylor is not re-elected at the head or standard bearer of the party, that could be a good political judgment on the part of CDC. If CDC were to give a back key to Joel Howard Taylor and bringing in Gweglo Johnson, what could be the political consequences?
If Dr. Weir, the fact that from the beginning he didn't need her, but went and got her anyway. If he make that mistake, now and drop her and pick somebody else, his political career is over. He will not be re-elected. He's not going to drop her.
Okay.
They got look, Mr. Soul. Yes, the issue here. They got women power. And the Me Too here in the United States will support any woman who perhaps they see has been marginalized or pushed aside because they believe she's a woman. Dr. We better not try it. They better not try it. CDC better not, because if they do that, that will be the end. The beginning and the end. There's no question asked.
That will be the beginning and the end. The liberal progressive, welcome. But I can tell you, you try to escape to victory this evening. You came first, you perform your ritual, my microphone, audio, everything went quiet. The man from the far right is not here. The rare call from Minnesota is not here. So you did yourself a good favor. But I can tell you in the next segment, the house will be in full.
Mr. So, I'm not going to do my own show until I meet the central right and the new Minnesota politician who are considered Minnesota politician, the Red Cup. I'm waiting for him.
Oh,
so that I have to introduce myself as the liberal on this show. He doesn't know much about the liberal.
Why do you like to jump into fight with everybody?
I'm not fighting with anybody. I'm just saying, come my way.
The
liberal way is the best.
That's a stereotype there. The Minnesota politician, the Red Cup, and all of that.
Mr. So, I'm allowed. This is America. First of all, thank God we're not in Liberia. I'm allowed to speak my mind as long as I'm not infringing on somebody else's right.
Thank you so much for your time this evening.
Mr. So, thank you very much for having me back. Folks, the Liberal is back, and you will truly enjoy yourself. Whenever we have a show, share this video, share any other video that we're going to be on, because the Liberal is not going to let these people to continue with their with their conservative ideas, whatever. So I want to thank you very much, Mr. So. We say
Yeah.
good night to you as well.
Hopefully you join us here. Dr. Bullet, George Bullet, going to be with us here Sunday. The time will be announced, but he has agreed to appear here on the Liberia Public Radio. Thank you so much and have a pleasant evening. Okay, well, folks, that does it this evening. Until then, I'm Alfonso Z and Sort of the Liberia Public Radio and Lpr-Tv, and this is how we want to go home this evening. So we want to thank you so much. Well, folks, that's how we're going to leave here this evening. I want to thank you so much for your time, for sharing your evening with us. Whatever you are, we say thank you so much. We're going to be going back to look at your comments, your tweets. We always invite you to join us here at Liberia Public Radio, where news has been made proportionate, taking you home with this beautiful sun from the southeastern side of Liberia, Grandeur. I say I'm a traditionalist, so I love those traditional music. We need to enhance our culture. For those of you who don't understand what this song says, there's time for everything. And for those of us who wants to run ahead of your shadow, this is where we can have those sort of shortfall. Do it step by step, Frenchman, and pay, and you will get there. There is a time. Other people are trying to force it out of nowhere because they want to satisfy their political ego. And this is why we're having these sort of chaotic environment in the country, unfortunately. Listening to the quote of the late Collins Powell, it speaks the volumes of today's politicians, especially in Liberia, since our conversation is confined or more or less directed at Liberia. Why can I wish my country happy independence anniversary? It has nothing to do. It's a sovereign nation. It has nothing to do. I do understand the challenges facing our country, the lack of insecurity, economic stagnations, and so many ongoing. Who should fix it? What can we do? The country is just a place, but the people that reside in the country are the problem. Should we take all of us from Liberians and put different nationality to see whether that's going to happen? The people who govern, the people who lead, and the people who reside, the inhabitants, they are the problem because they are unable to make good judgment. It is time as we move towards this consequential time in the 2023, both presidential and two major elections, both houses of government. It's time for us to have a safer conversation. Thereby, you explain, you'll be explicit, clear, precise, and tell us exactly which direction, how you're going to handle the country. I want to know who's going to be your police chief. We are saying crimes are endless, people are being killed, which of course is happening. It's a good arguable point. But who are those in the backyard lining up that today, if you become commander-in-chief of the armed forces of the Republic of Liberia, there will be a civil obedience and root of law. They are not telling us. We're not saying that. No policy has been revealed as to how they're going to get it done. That's concerning to me. There's an apprehension there. Something is lacking. And we need to tell them as it is. My senator in the state of Rhode Island, I never saw Jack Reed, David Cicilline, and even state representative, our own Liberian representative, Nathan Bia. When he goes to program, he appears on program, and people question him. What time do you have? Even if you are off of job, you're supposed to be seeking bipartisanship. Find time and call Sir Joseph and see and draw out a plan, send it to Sir Joseph and say, hey, we need to have a lunch, we need to have a dinner, but this is what I'm trying to propose. Even though you are seditions, I'm from the Liberty Party side, but we need to have a conversation to take a holistic approach to what is happening. When you listen to our Cara Grace, the cussing, everybody, the whole house is on fire. And you expect to have a civilized society, and you expect to have a functional administrative duties. It's not going to happen. Because those who are supposed to lead, they are disoriented. They do not have the vision. They are not smart. Why I want to blame poor country Liberia? You chose to do what you are doing. Until we can realize our own fault and be able to come together to have that sense of responsibility and break through that gap and begin to raise the new generation. You have people who almost in their end time and they're still holding on. And how you expect the nation to be built? Yes, there's an argument on the other side, sit down the old mud and plant the new mud. Well, that old mud has not done us good. So we need to throw away and find new thing completely and train the new generation for the good of the country, for innovation, for skills. Can there be a carpenter now? Can there be an engineer? Can they loosen any bolt, not from the plane or vehicle? You have to bring in those new people. We need to focus on the technical side of the country. We need to open up. Have a pleasant evening. By God's willing, we're going to be back here. Sunday, I will be having Dr. George Boley, representative of Grand Jita County, former Minister of State, former Minister of Education to Republic of Liberia, is a lawmaker. We're going to be having it. We are hearing he's seeking re-election. That's quite interesting. Until then, I'm Alfonso Z, and so have a pleasant evening. Bye-bye.